BongSoo is gradually taking over GyeonWoo's body, as YeomHwa casts a Unify Spell, making her wish and spirit one with BongSoo. GyeonWoo is starting to think he might die. The blind shaman had stated how ghosts take over bodies. First, GyeonWoo could hear ghosts, because of the blind shaman's incantations when they met. The next step is to see ghosts. Because of YeomHwa's desperate evil rite, GyeonWoo started to see ghosts, at the end of the last episode. The next step is to share his tongue with them, and then to smell them. Smelling them will mean that the ghost has taken over his body. At this point, YeomHwa deserves whatever comes her way. She had been Dongchan's spirit daughter, just like Sunga is now. However, after losing her baby, she went over to the dark side, by performing an evil rite. But then, Dongchan and the blind shaman intervened, stopping her in time. She had wanted to bring her child back as a deity. So she renounced her patron deity, the god general, to bring her child back. However, this rite won't only damn her in life and afterlife, but will also perpetually condemn her innocent child, all in the name of having the child around. Furious that they stopped her, she stabbed the elder shaman in her eyes, blinding her. This is why she's blind. YeomHwa did it. This was why she said she should have stabbed her in the neck, and not in the eyes. Having lost favor with her patron deity, YeomHwa has to find another deity to worship, in order to remain a shaman. In her quest, she found BongSoo's spirit, which had been lingering around since after the war. She made an ominous covenant with him, promising to follow him to hell, if he resurrected to be her patron deity. This way, she can regain some of her lost powers as a shaman. Meanwhile, BongSoo had died in the war as a student soldier. He's still lingering because he has some unfinished business. This might have something to do with his headstone, which he had been searching for at the school. However, his headstone had been moved to a park. To achieve their aim of making BongSoo an evil deity, YeomHwa made him kill over the years, strengthening him. After finding out about GyeonWoo's fate, when his grandmother sought her out for a solution, she marked him for the spirit's final kill. This is because GyeonWoo was easy prey, riddled with misfortune, and isolated from those who were supposed to care for him. But then, since coming into the world, BongSoo only seems enthralled with the wonders of the new world, and just wants to find his headstone. But then, these changes might have been caused by Sunga. BongSoo had taken an interest in her, when he was a ghost trapped at the haunted house. He had witnessed how dubious YeomHwa is. Imagine him calling her a bully. According to his bet with Sunga, when he took over GyeonWha's body, he promised to do the bidding of the one who found him first. Sunga did. And he happens to like her. Because of this, he might be planning to stick around in GyeonWoo's body, because he doesn't want to be far from Sunga. This was why he threatened YeomHwa with being in GyeonWoo's body for 10 or 20 years. As their fates are now unified, when she made the covenant, YeomHwa can't do any harm to him. In fact, she has to protect him, as his fate becomes hers. If he vanishes, she won't have a patron deity to serve. But then, you would ask why Dongchan decided to let her stay at the shrine. They know that she's weak from losing her patron deity, and can't do much harm to anyone. But they never thought that she'd will her evil karma on him, hastening the spirit's takeover. At this point, viewers are starting to feel a little pity for the Grand BongSoo. You'd want to hate him, but can't help liking him, at least for now. What's more, what a funny confession. no one can take Jiho seriously. At least, he lets Sunga know how he feels about her, leaving the decision in her hands. He has no enmity towards GyeonWoo, and secretly took care of him, at the archery arena, because of the glares from his former teammates. He even promised to love GyeonWoo more, when he found out his talisman had failed. GyeonWoo figured out BongSoo's weakness and how to control him. BongSoo is still traumatized by the war he died in. Meanwhile, thanks to Yeonwoo's evil Unify Spell, GyeonWoo starts to see ghosts, just like Sunga. He finally sees Sunga in all her glory as a shaman. With his vision blurred, he still manages to win gold at the competition. Of course, his love and human talisman also played a part. This will serve as an opportunity to finally lay his past with his teammates, who had flamed him for arson, to rest. Meanwhile, aren't Do-yeon and Jin-woon cute together? Seeing Do-yeon as Baki is funny. At least, he's turning a new leaf for the smart Do-yeon. Also, it's clear that Hae-ri has feelings for Jiho. Hopefully, he realizes that it might not be love that he feels for Sunga, but jealousy that he's no longer her only friend. He and Hae-ri would make a good couple. Meanwhile, YeomHwa is determined and not giving up. BongSoo had taught Sunga how to suppress him for a day, but he's bound to get jealous of her time with GyeonWoo, as he also likes her. Sunga and GyeonWoo keep up with their skinship to keep BongSoo at bay. But then, with the rivalry between the two, Sunga asks if she has to choose between the two of them. She and GyeonWoo finally have their first fight. Sunga had countered YeomHwa's spell during GyeonWoo's game, making her bleed from the ear. Dongchun can be seen rushing to her. Sunga also confronts her at the shrine after the game. Meanwhile, it looks like Dongchun knows something that YeomHwa doesn't. She can be seen taking care of her, after her emotional outburst. Meanwhile, Sunga and Mansik perform a ritual to get rid of BongSoo. Before this, Mansik tells GyeonWoo of how painful it'd be, as he's tied to the bed to hinder BongSoo. But then, YeomHwa is up to her shenanigans once again. The look on Sunga's face might be an indication that the rite will fail. Who else hopes for a happy ending for both GyeonWoo and BongSoo? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this drama? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for all things wonderfully K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.